Hello, everyone, and welcome to Legalbiz Cafe. I am your host, attorney Shaune B, Shaune B. Arnold, and I'm just so happy that you're here with me today. We are going to tackle the question, am I beating my head against the wall, or is this thing going to work? But first, a little bit of housekeeping. You see, here on Legalbiz Cafe, we deal with your mindset. We deal with the things that are making you feel like you're beating your head against the wall and that are stopping you from being the entrepreneur that you really know you are meant to be. So I invite you to follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. My moniker in all of those places is Shaune Arnold. And send me an email, Shaune@businessbootcamponline.com. Again, Shaune@businessbootcamponline.com. And if you need to speak to me directly, please feel free to give me a telephone call, 213-718-3468. I would love to talk to you about your business. So let's jump right into the question of the hour. Am I beating my head against the wall? This is a question that actually came to me earlier today. I had to ask myself, am I 3 feet from gold, as Greg Reed says? Or is this thing that I want just a pipe dream? Do I have what it takes? Will the machine pick me? It has to pick someone, right? But will it pick me? These are questions that I ask myself actually all the time. And I know I'm not alone in this. Hello. I know I'm not alone in this. You are an entrepreneur. That's why you tuned in tonight to Legalbiz Cafe, whether you are currently in business or not. Your heart is that of an entrepreneur. So have you ever found yourself in that melancholy place as the frustration rises? Has your dream grown dim? That can happen sometimes when we feel that our results are not there. Either they're not happening or they're very slow. You know, when the money is tight and we've been working at it for a really long time, and we keep putting ourselves out there, but it just seems like nobody's listening. It can feel as though you're beating your head against the wall. So what do? Well, I have a few tips. Don't I always? I have a few tips for you on what to do when you reach that breaking point. The first thing I want you to do is really be clear on your goal and the plan to achieve your goal. Are you sticking to the plan as you actually created the plan? And if you are, then are you experiencing any real problems, or are things just going a little too slow for you? Because if you are experiencing some problems or your growth is really, really slow, then maybe you need to tweak your plan. Mostly, though, I want to talk to you tonight about perseverance and flexibility. Perseverance is necessary when you're clear on what your goal is, when you're clear on what your plan is, but you're hitting obstacles. You've faced down all your fears, and yet you failed. And you're asking yourself, how do I persevere? How do I overcome all of these challenges? Or worse, my nemesis obstacle, whatever that thing is that always gets me. How do I get that thing rather than that thing getting me? When we hit a wall and we feel like it's a challenge that we can't get over and we can't get under and we cannot get around, then I would like to hearken you back to the words of Mark Twain, who said, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. You're going to meet with challenges. You are going to fall and skin your knee. That is an absolute guarantee. Life is going to knock you in the head. Life is going to knock every last one of us in the head more than once. It's going to knock us to our knees. Now, here's the thing. Are you going to get back up? Achieving a worthwhile goal is never going to be instantaneous. You have to put in a lot of time. You have to put in a lot of energy. And you have to have the ability to overcome obstacles. And you have to just persevere to find that success that you need. Abraham Lincoln always comes to mind whenever I think about this subject matter. He met with lifelong challenges before he became president of the United States. He had a girlfriend die on him, a fiance, when he was very young. And that caused him to have a mental breakdown. He was always very sensitive in his nervous system, and yet he persevered. He ran for Senate, and he lost. He ran for Senate again, and he lost. He ran for presidency on a fluke, and he won. And he was met with some of the greatest challenges that this country has ever met with. But had he had a seamless, quiet presidency, then none of us would think him that great man that we do. It was circumstance that created his greatness and his ability and willingness to rise to the challenge, to put in the time and the energy, and to face down his fears and our collective fears so that we could all overcome the obstacles that we managed to put in our own path. Success, someone once said, is the ability to go from failure to failure to failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Abraham Lincoln was an example of that, and so are you. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you control your destiny, that you're not at the whim of some wicked machine for your fame or your fortune. There's a trick to it, though. The trick is that you have to get up, and you have to do it again, and you have to do it again and again until at last you succeed. That is the real trick, and that is the only trick. But in all of your zeal and in your quest, you need energy. You need to be able to regenerate for optimum performance. You have to step away so that you can see the big picture. My mentor, Les Brown, always tells us that you cannot see the picture when you're in a frame. So you want to step out of the frame. Leonardo da Vinci said it beautifully. He said, every now and then go away and have a little relaxation. For when you come back to your work, your judgment will be surer. Go some distance away, he tells us, because then the work appears smaller and more of it can be taken in at a glance. And a lack of harmony and proportion is more readily seen. Now, granted, he was an artiste, but Leonardo da Vinci was one of the most brilliant men that ever walked this planet. Truly, truly wise words he gives us here. He understands that there is no shame in failing, that there's only shame in giving up. So give yourself some space, some time, some distance when you fail. But don't quit, especially when you're just 3 feet from gold. The most vital aspect of your winning this race is going to be your attitude. You can ask Thomas Edison about that. He tried 10,000 ways to create the light bulb before he finally found one way that was successful. And a reporter once asked him a question. He said, how did you persevere? Through 9,999 failures. Well, Thomas Edison responded, I didn't fail 9,999 times, dear boy. I found 9,999 ways that don't work. That, my friends, is a winning attitude. And that is what you need when you're making your dream come true and you're standing in the dark and you can't find the light switch, when you think you are alone. Nobody understands you. Nobody understands your dream. Nobody is willing to pitch in. They don't want to help you. They don't want to give you money. And they want to tell you all the reasons and all the ways that your dream is not going to work. So here's the question, who are you listening to? Who are you keeping in your inner circle? Because if those are the types of people that are talking to you, then you need to make some changes quickly. And if it's your family that's treating you that way, love them, but love them from the next room. Go where you have to go to get your head right and decide what you believe. What you believe that you deserve, that you've worked for and that you put in the time for. Right now, you're in the doldrums. There's no wind. There's no wind in your sail, and there's no wind beneath your wings. But, my friends, I want you to fear not. This vision was given to you, and only to you. That's why no one understands you. That's why no one understands your dream. I want you to stay the course. See, just when you think you are beating your head against the wall is going to give way. Trust the universe. It gave you this dream. It will give you the means to make your dream happen. But you have to believe. You have to persevere. You have to remain committed to your decision, but stay flexible in your approach. And most of all, you have to trust God to carry you through. I'm talking to me this evening as much as I'm talking to you, my friend. See, we're all in this entrepreneurial boat together. I want to thank you for joining me on this week's episode on Legalbiz Cafe. I hope I gave you some food for thought. Join me again next week right here, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Pacific time. Until then, I am attorney Shaune Arnold, reminding you, as always, to maximize your competence, to get the confidence you need to succeed. I'll see you next week right here on Legalbiz Cafe.